Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we've learned never to leave your phone inside of a pumpkin. It's Lost in the Midcard. We are here. We are not near anything right now. I guess Hell in a Cell is in a couple weeks, Bound for Glory in a couple weeks. So we're kind of in the middle of all that this week until we reach those predictions for next week. But we did get ourselves a good episode of Impact. We had the WWE Draft to talk about, which was pretty much a one-sided affair when it comes to interesting picks. Probably doesn't surprise you which side that is either. And we'll talk AEW and NXT as well. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Wednesday. And we're also on the YouTube where you see this lovely video right here. And got old Orange Cassidy in the background from last week. And the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Also on Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. And if you get a chance here, if you're just a podcast listener to the show, hop over to YouTube and search for Lost in the Midcard and give us a little subscribe ski so we can eventually work our way up to getting our own personalized web address for YouTube. And we want to kind of grow the YouTube, since for the past few months now we've been doing the videos. So do us a little favor and give us a little subscribe there. It would be appreciated. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Doing all right, my friend. Doing all right. WWE's logic, but notwithstanding.
Oh boy,
I'm doing as best I can with that situation right now.
And Impact calling them out on the. Oh, how about Big E calling them out on talking smack about their logic?
Oh man, it's so bad right now.
That was hilarious. Big E, come on, Sammy, you've been here long enough.
They even made I feel like New Day and Street Profits kind of made a joke out of it on Raw Monday night when they were swapping the titles. And one of them was like, "Oh yeah, this does seem like the most logical thing to do," or something along those lines. Like the fact that they're even fucking, they're so self-aware that their storyline logic is so bad right now that they're even making fun of themselves. And man, it as a person who just wants his pro wrestling to make sense, it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that shit show in a little bit, but first let's talk
It's the shit show.
Talk a little BTE. We start off with a flashback to August of last year when Hangman, was it August?
Yeah, it would have been August. It would have been going into the first All Out.
Look at that. It was my birthday. It was my 40th birthday last year when they talked. How about that? God. Yeah, Hangman wanting the Bucks to come out to the ring and support him like they do Kenny in New Japan. And the Bucks were full of excuses to start. But then they were like, oh, maybe we can make it work. And Hangman's like, never mind. Whatever. A little foreshadowing for later. Then we get Colt Cabana, who is now under the guise of Michael Nakazawa. And
this was fucking weird.
Colt Cabana thought he was getting on his knees for something else other than tanning Kenny's legs.
Super fucking weird.
Well, of course, Kenny Omega is bisexual. Most people know that. And so it's kind of just a little funny joke with Colt Cabana inside the body of Nakazawa, because obviously Nakazawa is good friends with Kenny, so he knows what he's doing. If he's going to be tan, he's going to be tanning the legs. But Colt inside the body of of Nakazawa is he's not sure what's going on, and it was pretty funny, wasn't it?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
I don't know either, my friend. I don't know either.
We were trying to speak Spanglish, but Dark Order tied up Ortiz, and Silver.
And they would have gotten away with it too if the Chili's wouldn't have arrived.
Silver is a weird dude, by the way.
But Brody Lee's starting to warm up to him.
I tweeted him. I tweeted Silver on Monday and said, I can't remember what I said, but it was something in circumcisions, and that should be on your next shirt. And he liked it. Johnny Hungy.
I want Silver and Brody Lee to have the same relationship that Drake Maverick and Killian Dane have.
Oh my god. I thought it was yeah, Silver. He is something else, man. He is hilarious.
He's definitely and like he's become a star thanks to BTE.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's the thing I've always loved about the BTE show in general, is it takes, the lesser known talent and creates like this opportunity for them to show what they're capable of and allow them to become stars. Like, no offense to Hangman, but no one gave a fuck about Adam Page before he was on BTE.
No, he was
nobody did.
He was in the
decade.
He was like,
yeah, I was going to say,
decade,
like,
and
one
Matt
of the worst stables in the history of professional wrestling.
Because Matt is such a mark for BJ Whitmer.
Oh, fuck BJ Whitmer. Who I think works backstage for AEW.
I found it. I go, John Silver doesn't poop, but loves circumcisions. That should go on his next t-shirt. He told Brody Lee that he doesn't poop.
Wow.
Silver is great. He reads everything you send to him too. So I talk a lot of stuff to John Silver and he enjoys it. The BTE championship unveiled. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wrestling match. As you find out,
they kind of clarified that when they introduced the title, that it wouldn't
last week.
Yeah, contested under just like a wrestling match or whatever.
So there are 12 men in the bracket. I was trying to pause the bracket at the right time, but they like showed the entire bracket for like a millisecond and then cut away. But I'm going to work on that now. There are 12 men in the bracket. That then pairs it down to 6, then pairs it down to 3, and there will be a 3-way final. Is it the Gator Golf the whole way through or just the first round?
I think the initial tournament is all Gator Golf first round. Like through the entire tournament. I think it's all some sort of golf. Maybe it might not be Gator Golf in the second round, but I feel like it's some sort of miniature golf stipulation throughout the entire tournament. At least that's how it sounded to me when they explained it.
We saw the left side of the bracket compete this week, so we'll probably see the right side of the bracket on next week's BTE. So Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Alex Reynolds took on John Silver, Chuck took on Trent. On the right side of the bracket, Sammy Guevara takes on Fuego del Sol. Who is that?
I don't know. Maybe somebody on Dark that I'm forgetting. I think it's somebody from Dark.
Brandon Cutler takes on Peter Avalon, and Matt Hardy takes on Luchasaurus.
That'll be something.
Fuego del Sol.
I feel like he's somebody on Dark. Like the name rings a bell.
Yeah, he's had one wrestling match on Dark.
Yeah, there we
go. He was in Imperial Wrestling Revolution and Sabotage Wrestling, 2 promotions I've never heard of.
Sabotage.
Debuted in 2014.
Entourage.
He's been in more than that, but he fought Sammy Guevara in July. That tag match I just mentioned was in June. So Matt and Nick playing at Daly's place had a little match there. Matt wins the match. Then we get
They played the most difficult round of everybody.
yeah. They
Like
went.
theirs was like really intense, and everybody else's were kind of like really fucking simple compared to theirs.
Yeah, they were all over the concourse. Then we cut to shirtless Hangman and Brandon Cutler on the back of a truck, throwing pumpkins and watermelons off the back of a truck while it's moving. That was something. Obviously, Cutler
it's entertaining, is what it is.
Obviously, Cutler was doing it to try to get Hangman to talk to the Bucks because he's been on that crusade for a while now. Hangman got pissed. So it didn't get anywhere, unfortunately. Brandon tried. So then we got a Chucky and Trent doing their Gator golf. I loved how they golfed around Orange Cassidy there. But Trent gets the win and advances. Leva Bates talking to Frankie. And she was reciting what she thought was a poem or a quote from a book, but actually it was the lyrics to Jump by Van Halen. And Kaz says Leva was apologizing and Kaz didn't mind because, well, he's a big Van Halen fan. And Leva is happy that he's happy. And then he goes, "Do ya?" And Daniels comes in. It's a damn it, I missed the do ya. And Kaz's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? How about Matt Hardy showing the Bucks how to stand in front of a TV during a match on live television?
Fucking amazing.
Clearly,
as soon as I saw them on Dynamite on Wednesday, I'm like, they're fucking making fun of the way the WWE forces the guys to stand in front of the television. And when they showed the Matt thing, I lost it. I was just like, I knew it. Fucking knew it.
Poor Stu got his ass beat by Anna Jay again.
Dude, she's stiff.
He sells well. He's a good seller. Uno made Anna promise to ceasefire. I can't remember until when. I don't know what the thing was, but
dude, he asked for a 2 week
2 weeks, okay,
ceasefire, which lasted about 2 seconds,
basically. And Stu taking that bump over the table. Oh man, so good. So now Cutler's trying to talk to the Bucks, and finally they get through. As they decide to Matt decides to text Hangman and say that they need to talk. Then we get Silver and Reynolds in their golf battle.
Well, don't forget like the important part there.
That's at the end of the show. Oh no, that wasn't at the end of the show.
But they show you.
Yeah, they do show you
that Hangman left his cell phone behind in the pumpkin outside the arena.
Yeah, I'm skipping around.
Hangman did not have his phone with him.
Yep, we texted
him.
Yep.
It's important.
I thought that was later.
Well, they show at the end. Yeah. They show the pumpkin again, and a hand picks up the phone.
Yeah, I'm kind of skipping around,
and that's
so
when they send. That's when like the mystery man, who I think is Kenny Omega, sent the text back to the Bucks.
So Silver beats Reynolds in Gator golf.
Silver needs a win. Good for him.
And that's where, and then we get cut back to the Dark Order. It's hilarious when Silver does his Brody imitation when he's not around. Silver's a little over the top with his homoerotic behavior, I think.
Silver's over the top, period.
That's true. And Brody makes everybody leave the room but Silver. A budding relationship. And finally, we cut back to the pumpkin. Somebody picks up the phone, reads the text. Come on, you don't have a lock screen on that, Hangman? Reads the text and basically says, fuck you to the Bucks, which sets off Matt and Nick, and that's why they went on their destructive behaviors of super kicking everybody and breaking Tony's phone and all that shit. I can see how that's Kenny.
Yeah, I think it's Kenny.
Obviously, they don't show who it is, but
they're gonna build to it. Like we're gonna know eventually. Look, I'll even go as far as to say if it ain't Kenny, he was Cody.
Interesting.
We have not seen Cody on Being the Elite in months. So if it ain't Kenny, I think it was Cody.
Huh.
It definitely wasn't Cutler.
No, I don't.
I mean that much is for sure. And it definitely wasn't Hangman. Like I refuse to believe that they set that up like that just for it to be Hangman. Like I'm not buying that.
No. It's weird though, because you figure the eventual end game is to get the Elite back together, all of them back together, but so it'd be weird if it was Cody or Omega. But obviously Omega and Hangman are not on the same page right now, so it does make sense that it could be Omega. It'd be really interesting if it was Cody. I'd like to see the reasoning behind that. My other guess
I feel like there's a story to be told there because I mean, like the Elite, as far as Cody being with that group, haven't really associated since March. Because even the Stadium Stampede, Cody wasn't in that match. It was the Bucks, Kenny, Hangman, and Matt Hardy. So like even by that point, like Cody was no longer associating with the rest of the Elite, and I don't think they've been together on TV at all since March. And like it might have been even longer since he's been on BTE. So I feel like there's a subtle story that they're playing there that we're not privy to yet.
Yeah. Man, if it is Cody, that'd be really interesting.
Yeah. Well, it would really start playing off. Like I said, my prediction for Dynamite tonight is I think Orange is going to upset Cody. And I think Cody's going to fucking snap. And I think he's going to turn heel and he's going to beat the shit out of Orange. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like they wanted to get the title on Orange, but they didn't want Orange beating Brody.
Yeah.
So they transitioned the championship from Cody back to Cody so Cody could put it on Orange. I could be completely out of my damn mind on that one, but I feel like out of all the championships tomorrow, that's the only one out of the 4 on Dynamite that I see as an actual shot of changing hands.
I would find it very odd to have Orange lose to Brody and then lose to Cody right away.
Yeah.
So there's got to be an angle somewhere of having Orange come in right away and facing Cody. Considering he lost.
You don't want to waste that feud with Jericho either.
No. So
like I don't see FTR dropping to Best Friends.
No.
Because as much as I would love to see Best Friends get the titles, I feel like FTR and the Young Bucks are on that collision course. Like, granted, that match doesn't need the tag team titles. Like, they could do it without it. But I feel like it would be more important with the tag titles there. Like, I don't see Shida losing to Swole. I don't feel like Swole's built up enough weekly positive momentum to be taken.
The only girl that's taken that title off of her is Britt.
Probably. I would agree with that. I think Britt will eventually take the title off of Shida. And then you got and I don't see Moxley losing to Archer.
No.
I just don't, especially with Hangman and Kenny being in there. They're going to be in the finals of that tournament at Full Gear.
Yep.
And both of those guys versus Moxley makes more sense than either of those guys against Archer.
Yeah, Archer's not winning that.
So I think it's going to be awesome, though. Their match in January was awesome. So I'm expecting this match to be crazy. I think that was the only match I've ever seen where someone tried to suffocate someone with a plastic bag. I've never fucking seen that before in a wrestling match until that one. But yeah, I think Dynamite is going to be amazing. I think it's I feel like they've built this show up to it's going to be fucking huge, and they're going to go out of their way to try to blow people away. But I feel like the only title that has a chance of swapping is the TNT title.
Yeah.
Hey, they want to prove me wrong and completely blow my mind. Go right ahead and swap 2 or 3 titles tomorrow night. But I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't see Archer as champion. At least not yet.
I could see him as TNT champion.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see him as AEW World Champion right now. I just don't think the build has been there enough for them to do that.
Impact Wrestling tonight, as we right before we record, we kick things off with a triple threat knockouts tag match. Rosemary and Taya, Tasha Steelz, and Kiera Hogan, and one of my favorites, Nevaeh, and Havoc. And this triple threat was won by Taya and Rosemary. Obviously, there's a lot of history with Taya and Rosemary, and Havoc and Nevaeh in regards to Rosemary's wedding, and we'll get to that a little later.
You got to think that they're setting the stage to bring back the knockout tag team titles.
Oh yeah,
because there's just been so much women's tag team wrestling on Impact lately.
Yeah, it
just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, it's been at least 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row of some combination of those teams, maybe 4 weeks in a row now.
And there's not a women's division on the planet right now better suited for tag team titles than the Knockouts division in Impact.
Yeah.
They have, in my opinion, from top to bottom, the best women's division out of any wrestling company right now.
Yeah, and they have had that for a while now. Many times where that was the best thing, only thing going for Impact. That has clearly changed now in 2020, but Johnny Bravo stressing out about the wedding. Fallah Boss said he didn't have the money. We all know that's bullshit.
Liar, fuck.
We all know that's bullshit. Johnny Swinger being the mark that he is. And Crazy Steve got into it with Ba. Match time! Before Crazy Steve and Fallah Ba had their match, Rosemary talks to Havoc, talking about the wedding and how they need to bring James Mitchell back from the dead. And since Havoc was the one that killed him, she has to assist in his return to reality. And Havoc challenges Rosemary to a match next week. If Rosemary wins, Havoc will help her. And that's probably going to happen. Right.
Probably.
Fallah Ba and Crazy Steve. Basically, Matt said this pretty much perfectly in the DMs during Impact. It's basically Wrestle House. They're just not at the house. They're still doing Wrestle House.
It's the spiritual successor to Wrestle House.
And I said it's because us fans received it so well that they had to do something to keep it going in some capacity. So Crazy Steve thought Fallah was hiding the money under his shirt, so he kept trying to rip off the shirt, and he finally did. And whoa, look at that! It's around his neck. So we're all surprised, aren't we, Matt?
So shocked.
Rhino and Heath backstage. Rhino tells Heath he's pulled some strings and got them both into the Call Your Shot gauntlet match at Bound for Glory. If either one of them win, Heath gets the fat contract he was asking for. If neither of them win, this is their last shot, and Heath is not going to be in Impact Wrestling. Then Scott D'Amore shows up and says, you did tell him about the other part of that deal, right? And no, he didn't, because if neither one of them win that match, Rhino gets fired as well. So you think it's obvious that one of them's going to win it, but I don't think they're going to. It's going to, this whole employment story is going to play on, Matt.
One of them's going to win it.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
I figured they'd keep playing off the, or they would neither one would win, and then they would just stretch out the story even further.
No, I think one of them are gonna win.
What is this call your shot gauntlet? Oh, is it a pick your title if you win?
Yeah, you get to pick a title shot of your choosing at any point. It's kind of like a crazy Money in the Bank type of deal.
Oh, that's with briefcases? No, wait, what was that?
No, I don't think it has the briefcase. You're thinking of the shit, I don't remember what the fuck they called it.
Yeah. Our Impact history's floundering since we gave up on him a couple years ago, and now we're back again. Thank the Good Brothers for that. Caleb with a K wearing quite the fashionable shirt. I wonder if Chris Statlander picked that one out for him. It was quite the outfit he was wearing. Well, he's trendy. That's why, Matt. He's a trendy guy. 10-person tag match. And the winning team goes into a fatal 5-way next week. And the winner of that match gets to go into the Bound for Glory pay-per-view gauntlet at number 20. The gauntlet for or the Collie Shot gauntlet or whatever the hell. So we had Tennille and Tommy Dreamer, Brian Myers, Cody Deaner, Johnny Swinger took on Hernandez, Cousin Jake, Alicia Edwards, Rhino, and Heath. And that last team got the win with Hernandez, Cousin Jake, Alicia Edwards, Rhino, and Heath. Heath's going to get in at number 20, isn't he? Or is Alicia Edwards going to sneak out a win?
Yeah, I don't think he's getting in at 20, but I do definitely think that he's going to win.
Alicia Edwards probably is going to – everybody's going to beat the shit out of each other, and then Alicia Edwards comes in and pins somebody. Like, she pins Cousin Jake. I'm guessing that's how it's going to go down. Kimberly and Kylie Ray, they had a pretty damn good match, Matt. I like that one. Kylie Ray gets the win. Deonna Purrazzo tries to attack Kylie, but ate a super kick for her troubles. They announced that the Rosemary Johnny Bravo wedding is going to be in 2 weeks. Then we got Doc Gallows and Madman Fulton. This match immediately went to the outside and resulted in a double countout. And we went to commercial as they kept fighting, and we come back, and now there's weapons all over the ring. Restarted as a no DQ match. Pretty fun and entertaining no DQ match, no count out as well. They just beat the holy shit out of each other with Gallows getting the win. Then Eric Young comes out demanding answers because, of course, he attacked Rich Swann last week. Scott D'Amore comes out and says that he will compete at Bound for Glory. And that wasn't what Eric Young wanted to hear, so he attacks Scott D'Amore. And Rich Swann then comes in and makes the save and hits the springboard stunner there. And that was a good segment, I thought, Matt, with Eric Young, D'Amore, and Rich Swann. Rich Swann was moving a little better than I thought he would be after getting a kettlebell to the ankle, though.
He's a special type of athlete, JB. Didn't you hear what he said? Didn't you hear what they said?
I mean, literally, that kettlebell would, that would shatter a leg. So we're suspending belief here a little bit. But that was a good segment, though, wasn't it? I mean,
no, I enjoyed it. I very much look forward to Rich Swann getting that title.
We had some time left. So what's going on? Oh, it's Moose. He's pulling up to that bridge. EC3 waiting with that TNA title. They exchanged some words for a while. And then finally, after all of these weeks of EC3 getting in the head of Moose, we get a little physicality and they have a little fight on the bridge. EC3 gets a little bloodied. And a little smile as Moose walks off with the TNA title. They are going to have a match in an undisclosed location at Bound for Glory, which is basically a cinematic match, right, Matt?
Yeah, it's certainly, to me, it's implied that it's going to be a cinematic type of fight.
That was a good ending to Impact.
It was certainly interesting.
Those last two segments were really good. I enjoyed Impact a lot. I mean, that women's match was great. The women's tag match was great. Then Kimberly and Kylie Ray were really good. You know, Doc Gallows and Madman was a lot of fun, just beating the fuck out of each other. It was a good Impact. It was better than Raw again. Believe we're saying that, Matt, in 2020? The Impact's better than Raw?
I didn't think we'd be saying it, but it's definitely the truth. We tell the truth here on Lost in the Midcard, brother.
Something I omitted doing the quick rundown of Impact. Sammy Callahan set up Eddie Edwards, which led to Psycho Shamrock attacking and putting the ankle lock on Eddie. They are going to have a match at Bound for Glory. Next week, though, it'll be Eddie Edwards and Sammy Callahan, who have history together. The five-way I just mentioned with Hernandez, Cousin Jake, Alicia Edwards, Rhino, and Heath. The Good Brothers take on the North. That should be a damn good match. And we have the six-way scramble for the X Division title at Bound for Glory. We're going to have a six-person tag match with those six competitors. Rohit Raju, Chris Bay, and Jordan Grace will take on Willie Mack, TJP, and Trey Miguel. God, I wish I would have made that Ultimate X, though, Matt.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they didn't go in that direction. Kind of weird.
Be real interesting to see who your prediction is next week for that, too.
I haven't made up my mind yet. I don't think Rohit's leaving with the title, I'll tell you that much.
No. I think I know who I'm going to be picking. It may change after we watch Impact next week, though.
Yeah, I have not decided yet.
I have an idea who I think is going to win it. AEW episode number 53 of Dynamite coming your way this week. We started off with the big boys, Brian Cage and Will Hobbs for the FTW Championship, and Matt, the big boys did not disappoint, did they?
Of course not. I've been telling anybody, I know not the entire AEW fan base doesn't watch Dark, but I watch it every week. And I've been telling anybody who would listen for months now that Will Hobbs was going to be a star.
Yep.
And clearly, Tony Khan seen the same thing Hobbs that I did and signed the guy to a deal.
Well, that's because Tony Khan...
And he's proven that he's got that star potential, man.
That's because Tony Khan listens to the podcast.
That's probably
That's good shit.
I try to watch Dark sometimes, but it is hard to get all that fucking wrestling in. I'm a busy man. Now I'm working 2 jobs, 3 jobs actually, technically.
I do it in the AM hours. It's really my only time I get to watch it. But
I'll throw on YouTube as I'm trying to pass out, so that's where I usually get my Dark in. But yes, I've been a big Will Hobbs fan. Was very disappointed the 6-man got axed when Archer came down with COVID, but I think he got his big moment here to not big moment, his introduction to the fans moment with this FTW title match. So what if someone takes the FTW title from Cage? Taz is a businessman, so I would assume
I know exactly who should take that title from him.
Darby?
No. A guy who personifies that championship.
Well, Moxley.
Eddie Kingston.
Ooh. God, Eddie Kingston's been.
That's his mindset, dude.
Yeah.
FTW.
Eddie
I mean,
Kingston.
he pretty much just lived that life, man. Like I could see him doing some very interesting things with that title.
I don't know if it was their intention to bring to sign him after they had that TNT championship match, but everybody knows how good he is, and I think Cody and Tony had to have known that he was going to make an impression. So, but I don't know what their intentions were, but he's been fucking great since he signed. Like everything he's been doing has been great. I've been a big Eddie Kingston fan for a long time. Me and Matt were marking out about him in WA this year or earlier this year, late last year.
He did great stuff in Impact too.
Yep. After the match, Taz gets on the mic, credits Hobbs for looking impressive. Gives him the option of joining Team Taz or get a beatdown from Cage and Starks. I thought
Hobbs was gonna attack Darby.
I thought so. I thought Hobbs was gonna join Team Taz, which would have been fucking great. I thought, but at the same time, Hobbs is
I don't know if that's something they need to do immediately, but no. I definitely the thought did cross my mind, like what a Hobbs jumps Darby from behind here did.
Yeah,
and joins the team. I don't feel like the audience is emotionally attached enough to Hobbs yet to care about an immediate heel turn. I feel like that's something they would need to build to.
I did see a lot of people
more impactful.
I did see a lot of people on Twitter that had the feeling that he was going to do that though. But AEW does that on purpose a lot. I think gives you that feeling that someone's going to turn on someone on the right there, and then it doesn't happen. I don't know how many times I think I've tweeted in the past year. Oh, I feel like this. Like how many people here thought he was going to turn? And it's like, yep. So this is the celebration of Jericho. Drink it in, man. 30 years. We get a bunch of celebrities. Slash from GNR, Dennis Miller, and how about Hiroshi Tanahashi? I like not your first New Japan reference on the show this week, huh, Matt?
Well, there were a lot of New Japan references on Dynamite last week.
And of course,
and I don't think it was a coincidence either.
No. And of course, the legend Ted Irvine, the dad of Le Champion. So, and then Bully Ray chugging some of the bubbly. Giving a lot of good. That was just the first set of great tributes for Jericho. Obviously Jericho is a top heel in the company, but there was so much respect for him on this show as if he was a babyface, and I'm glad they did that, Matt.
Indeed.
AEW tag titles, your 20-minute brush with greatness. FTR taking on the Hybrid 2. Very entertaining match. I don't have... Oh, here it is. About 14 minutes, so a few minutes less than the SCU match. But the old... using the old Power and Glory finisher. Remember those guys, Matt?
Yes, I definitely remember. I definitely remember Power and Glory.
FTR using a little Power and Glory finisher there. Very good match though, considering we haven't seen much of the Hybrid 2 lately, Matt. I thought it was.
Yeah, if you're not watching Dark, you're not seeing them.
Young Bucks. Any mention of FTR, they get mad, so they super kicked the camera guy. I thought they were going to super kick the TV the way they were standing at the TV, but no, that was just them making fun of WWE. So now they're getting cheap, Matt. He didn't have any money on him. FTR in the ring. Trent of Best Friends with some new t-shirts, some new weenie t-shirts, Matt.
Weenies.
Chuck Taylor says that Tony Khan told them that their tag team title match will be on AEW Anniversary, which is today as you listen to this podcast. FTR tried to attack, but the Best Friends were ready for it, and FTR bails. And then the Best Friends give the people what they want. Except Excalibur forgot to say that line this week. Or last week or whatever.
I know. I was kind of shocked that it happened and he didn't say anything.
MJF mentioned to never meet your heroes, but he met his and Chris Jericho. This whole thing with him in the inner circle is going to be interesting to see how all that plays out.
I think he's going to ask to join the inner circle on Dynamite. I think that's his major announcement.
Do you want to join the inner circle? Do you want me in the inner circle? Do you want to join the inner circle? We're probably going to get that for like 5 minutes. Again. Another round of messages for Chris Jericho, Shaquille O'Neal, Gene Simmons a kiss. Of course, Jericho's a rock star, you know. Don Callis, a lot of history with Jericho. And, of course, he's now in Impact Wrestling, so it's pretty cool to see, interesting to see him on AEW television. But, hey, this ain't the WWE. You don't have to pretend that nobody else exists, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Lars Ulrich from Metallica and DDP. Dog collar match for the TNT Championship. They show pretty cool showing Greg the Hammer Valentine sitting in the crowd. Of course, he had a famous dog collar match with Roddy Piper in '83. So that was pretty cool to show him in the crowd there. And as we expected, a very brutal dog collar match, but props to whoever laid down the money that would say John Silver would get color first. I don't think anybody expected John Silver to get busted open first out of everybody in the match.
No, I didn't expect John Silver to get busted open, period. So
this was a
awesome.
Fucking great fight. Fight was what it was. A lot of blood on both sides, which we fully expected.
Such good shit.
Just a lot of unique moments in that match, and well done, bro. Well done, guys. Cody Rhodes gets the win. Put the chain around Brody's mouth, and the man, that was just a cool ass finish there, and got the win. And he cuts basically probably one of the best promos in the business right now is Cody, and he cuts a pretty cool babyface promo. And says he's going to defend the title next week. And Tony Schiavone asks him who he wants to defend it against, and that guy shows up with the thumbs up, and Cody gives him a thumbs up, so it's on.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
3 more men were announced for the 8-man tournament to determine the new number 1 contender for Jon Moxley or Lance Archer. And those guys are Wardlow, Colt Cabana, and Hangman Adam Page. And they join Omega, Phoenix, and Jungle Boy, which should be a hell of a tournament. Alex Marvez interviewing Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega kept calling Hangman a great tag team wrestler, saying that he won't make a mark in this tournament, but we all know who the finals are going to be. Do they have to go in the finals, or?
Oh, yes.
Think so?
Yes. You can't do this in the semis. Like, if they did this in the semis, one of the final 2 people that they announced for this tournament would have to be huge.
Yeah.
Like, gigantically, like, game-changing that we didn't see coming. Like, it has to be Hangman and Kenny. It has to be.
Now, are the finals? What are the finals? Are the finals
so the finals are at Full Gear?
Okay. So we don't know who Moxley's going to face at Full Gear. I wonder who they'll have.
I mean, I guess they could do that. I guess they could do the finals in the opening contest, and the winner goes on to the main event to fight Moxley. I mean, they haven't really specified yet, but I mean that's
But
That's an option.
they have announced that the finals are at Full Gear.
Yeah, they have announced that the finals are at Full Gear. But they haven't announced any type of title match for Mox. So, but I mean, I guess you wouldn't when he's got to fight Lance Archer first this week. But
I wonder if there's no decision. There's not going to be a decision in that match, and that carries over to Full Gear.
Archer. They could do that.
I'm wondering
if they would have to raise the steps. It would have to be more than just just a regular one-on-one match. They'd have to throw him in like a steel cage or something like that, because
I wonder if that's
you have to up the stakes if that match ends in a cluster.
Or aha. Eddie Kingston comes in and fucks up the match, and we get a triple threat at Full Gear.
I don't know if I love that. I mean, it's possible. Doesn't really feel like a main event to me, though.
Yeah, maybe they do that finals first and have the winner main event, 2 matches in one night, and they make it overcome the odds and take the title off of Moxley at Full Gear. And
there's nothing wrong with, like, dude, their pay-per-views are like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So if you're in the opener, by the time the main event rolls around, you've had plenty of enough time to get ready for it.
Big Swole and Serena Deeb had a match there. Swole getting the win, obviously pushing her because she's got the title match on the anniversary show. John Moxley doing shots in a bar, talking about Lance Archer. Then we got more messages. Lance Storm, good buddy of Chris Jericho's. Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob fame. Eli Roth, great horror director. Gabriel Iglesias with Chavo Guerrero on Zoom. And the legendary Ultimo Dragon. And Paul Stanley from Kiss. All giving Jericho his props on 30 years in the biz. And then that led us to our main event with Jericho and Hager taking on Chaos Project, Luther, and Serpentico. And pretty good match there. Luther obviously has got more years behind them in front of him. So, he might have blown up a little bit in that match, but still, I think it was an entertaining main event.
I think he was over anxious. I think he wanted so bad to impress that he got into his own head.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a great main event, but it was.
No.
It was fine. It was fine. Like I get that they wanted Jericho to close the show, but man, I would have closed that show with Cody and Brody.
Yeah. But MJF comes out and has a gift for Jericho. This feels like the Festival of Friendship all over again. And then he had a clown.
Clownico
Le Clown. And then a framed portrait of MJF, which Jericho busted over the head of the clown.
Farouk didn't appreciate it when The Rock did it, and Jericho didn't appreciate it when MJF did it.
And then the clown ate a Judas effect.
As he should.
Jericho told MJF he hates clowns, and told him never to interrupt him again. They pointed and laughed, and Jericho thanked the crowd, and then they did an SNL ending, which was I thought that was funny.
Yeah, like I said, I understand why they wanted to close the show with that, but at the same token, I really think Brody and Cody should have closed the show.
Only 3 matches announced for anniversary right now on tonight.
4 matches, the 4 title matches.
Oh yeah, TNT. That's not on their website. Wow, web guy needs to get on it.
And they also they've also announced that Miro and Kip Sabian are in tag team action, but we don't know who they're facing.
So yeah, all 4 titles on the line. TNT Championship, Cody and Orange Cassidy. Women's Championship, Sheeta and Swole. FTR Best Friends, Moxley Archer.
It's a stacked show, man. It's a stacked fucking show. Rob Van Dam. The whole stacked show.
Unlike and not a stack show, NXT has been kind of stale lately.
I actually really enjoyed NXT last week.
Yeah, this was a little better. Weird how they kept promoting Ember Moon leading off all night, all week.
And they didn't do it.
And then they say, "Oh, well, Ciampa and Kushida got into an altercation, and so we've got to have these guys lead off the show." And it ended up in a disqualification thanks to Velveteen Dream. Ember Moon cutting a promo of how good it is to return after 14 months off, and then Io Shirai appeared, then Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Dakota Kai, and then Teddy Long came out. We had a tag match player.
Holla, holla, holla.
Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, and wow, that entrance music.
Amazing. Everything about this was amazing.
I don't know about that.
Future NXT tag team champions.
The whole skipping and whistling. Killian Dane does not like the whistling, by the way.
I love it.
And they won
the match. Maverick gets to be Rockstar Spud again.
They yes, that's a good point. They defeat the Dollar Store Young Bucks and Everrise.
Yeah, like I don't even know why those guys are signed. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but they are so just there.
They've been jobbing for 4 years, I think.
I don't know if it's been that long, but I don't see anything in them at all. They feel like that indie tag team that you see in the opening contest of your local indie show that you go to, and you're just wanting the match to be over. I mean, that's what Everrise reminds me of.
Yeah. But remember those remember when we were in Dallas and we attended a Ring of Honor show together? Remember who was in that match? In the dark match? Keith Lee and Shane Taylor.
I remember.
They debuted.
But they look like stars.
Yeah, and I even got to talk with them.
Everrise does not.
They were just hanging out in the concourse, and I just walked up to them and it's like, "Hey guys, don't know who you guys are, but I was entertained."
Please tell me you didn't say I don't know who you guys are.
No.
Okay. No. I was gonna like, oh my god.
No, I said,
how are you still alive?
No, I said, I said that just I don't know who they were. You know, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you went up to them and said, "I don't know who you guys are."
No. I'm just saying we didn't know who they were when we watched that dark match at what was that? Supercard of Honor in 2016. Yeah, so we didn't know who Keith Lee and Shane Taylor were back then. I mean, they were obviously they're from Texas, so that's why they got that spot there. And yep, said just walked up to him, talked to him a little bit, said nice match, and they were real nice. And lo and behold, did we know one would go on to win the NXT title? Everrise started early 2019, so it feels like 4 years. Yeah. They were enhancement talents on Raw in 2018. The Authors of Pain killed them. So Drake Maverick trying to celebrate with Killian Dane and he gets punched in the mouth again. I pop every time Killian Dane punches Drake Maverick. We got a little vignette of Tony Storm hanging out in Cancun as we get ready for Tony time on NXT. I know Matt's excited for some Tony time.
You know it, man. I am ecstatic that Tony Storm is back on my television.
Leon Ruff, congrats on the contract, sir. He got beat by Austin Theory. And then Dexter Lumis came out and They had a match. Austin Theory and Loomis did. Then Cameron Grimes showed up and gave the cave in to Loomis. This feels like a future number one contender for Damian Priest situation here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy for Leon Ruff too, man.
He's a good talent.
And his either girlfriend, fiance, or wife, she's a referee in NXT, so that's cool. I don't know if it might be his wife. I can't remember what the relationship is there, but they did revisited Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor, and then they showed that weird ending to Takeover, and that led to Ridge Holland against Danny Burch. They beat the shit out of each other for a while. Holland got the win. Then wanted to beat up on Burch some more, and Oney Lorcan comes out. Oney Lorcan then does a dive to the outside, and you watch Ridge Holland's ankle snap on television, and it is gruesome. That was not pretty. They confirmed the dislocated and broken ankle for Holland. So obviously he was going to get a big push in a program with Adam Cole, and now that's onto the wayside. So get well soon, Ridge Holland. But God, that was just horrendous looking.
Yeah, well, look, I kind of got on WWE about pushing them last week, but I didn't.
Yeah, you asshole. It's all your fault.
I didn't want to see that happen to him. Good grief.
All your fault.
It ain't my fault. Look, he wasn't ready. I mean, it's simple as that.
Oh, I've heard that they see Brock Lesnar in this guy. I've heard that.
What?
They are seeing him as the next big thing, so to speak.
They're on drugs.
Shotzi Blackheart defeated Xia Li, who, if you don't follow her on Instagram, you're doing yourself a disservice. Xia Li's been on a little bit of a losing streak lately, and then all of a sudden, Boa, a fellow gentleman from China, delivers a letter to Xia Li. So maybe a little bit of a partnership between Boa and Xia Li, possibly. To be continued. Then we had, what's that?
TBC.
Yeah, and we had ourselves a great main event with the ladies, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley against Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, with the good girls winning. As Matt said, a pretty good. We'll give it a solid NXT, because NXT's been less than solid lately. So I'll give it a good solid. NXT's website, NXT WWE.com has been terrible with NXT previews. But there was, man, that's terrible. We've had, there were 2 updates thanks to PW Insider. Well, actually, I mean, they just reported it. This shit was out on Twitter if you follow everybody. But Regal announced that Loomis against Priest for the North American title. I highly expect Cameron Grimes to get involved there, and probably Austin Theory. Just a spoiler, right, Matt?
Yeah, a little bit.
And Fish and Strong will take on Lorcan and Birch. Winners get Breezango for the tag titles. We've already had, well, Breezango beat the Era. They haven't beat Fish and Strong. They beat O'Reilly and Fish. But do you see Era beating Lorcan and Birch here, or do you just do Lorcan and Birch get yet another chance?
Why do I want to see Lorcan and Birch against?
I don't know.
Like Breezango, it's got to be Roddy and Fish. Fish. It has to be.
Yeah. I don't know. That tag division needs a little work. And Everrise is not the answer. Dollar store young bucks, aren't they, Matt? You laugh because I'm right.
Oh.
SmackDown, happy birthday, Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. It's the draft, and we have Stephanie McMahon out here to lay the excitement upon us, right, Matt? This delivery of the draft they've done the last couple times is just
It's the last 2 times. And
boring
shit,
as fuck.
both times. Like I said last week,
There's no excitement to it.
there's none. It's boring as hell. Like, and there's no anticipation after the pick because she already has all the picks on the cards. Like, so you don't see the other brands scrambling because, oh my god, they got the one guy I wanted, or anything like that. It's terribly done.
I love the old way where they had the old roulette of superstars flashing before your eyes before it showed the pick,
And that's all it should be, honestly, because what they're implying is that this draft for the last 2 years is just completely wiping everybody's rosters out. Everybody's a free agent, and they're signing everybody over again. Why do that? It's fucking dumb. Just keep the rosters the way they are. You have Raw versus SmackDown matches on SmackDown and Raw. And when SmackDown wins, they get a pick. When Raw wins, they get a pick. And it's just the random generator from the Tron. So if somebody from SmackDown wins, somebody from Raw is coming to SmackDown, and vice versa. That way you make every pick matter instead of, hey, with the first pick in the first round, Raw selects Drew McIntyre and SmackDown selects, what do you guess? What do you think? Roman Reigns. No shit. Don't fucking waste our time. Morons.
Yeah, they wasted our time with 4 out of the first 5 draft picks. Number 1, Drew McIntyre stays on Raw. Number 2, Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown. Number 3, Asuka stays on Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Then number
So
4.
bad.
Number 4. Oh, the Monday Night Messiah is going to Friday nights. Number 5.
Yeah, I was totally okay with this until they sent the Mysterios to SmackDown later on in the night. Yeah. And then I just wanted to slam my head against the wall.
Yeah. Number 5, the Hurt Business stays on Raw. Then we got a Falls Count Anywhere match. Well, before that, we got Seth Rollins being interviewed by the beautiful Kayla Braxton. He's like, yes, I'm finally rid of the Mysterios. We're like, no, you're not.
We wish you were too, Seth. We wish you were too. Because when you're not fighting the Mysterios, sometimes your character's actually interesting.
Falls Count Anywhere, Big E and Sheamus. This was good. I don't get why there's a carton of eggs just sitting on a table, but that was funny. Big E definitely was a sticky mess by the end of that with all the eggs and flour on him. A very entertaining fight, though. I enjoyed it. Big E gets the win. They're bouncing each other off of cars and bloodied and everything. All that.
It was a fun fight. I enjoyed it.
Big E is celebrating. And Kayla Braxton goes to interview him, and we got some guy dressed in a security outfit. It's Kofi. We got another guy dressed in a security outfit. It's Xavier. The New Day are finally back together. And then they take it all away.
How can Vince fuck this up?
It's so good to see Xavier Woods back after about a year at least. I can't remember when the last time he was on TV. Kofi, it's been Extreme Rules. So that was good to see those guys back together. So we were happy at the time. Jey Uso cutting a promo. This great story with Roman Reigns, probably one of the better feuds of the year, if not the best feud of the year. Roman Reigns just sitting behind a big wooden desk, just says everything you need to know about how different Reigns is now and how great the transformation has been. You agree?
Eh.
Just a whole new Roman Reigns. Inside a Hell in a Cell will be an I Quit match inside of Hell in a Cell. And if Jay says I quit, there will be consequences. What consequences may that be, Matt?
I mean, those have to be the stakes that make this match so high, because right now it's really not that big. Look, and I Quit Hell in a Cell match, I mean, that's cool and all, but I mean, it's not the highest stakes in the history of professional wrestling, like the way Roman's making it sound. They got to give me something more than that.
Well, he says if Jay says I quit, there will be consequences. So
but I mean, these consequences have to be gigantic. I'm sure it's just going to be something dumb like you have to call me the tribal chief or some shit. But I mean,
what if it's the Usos have to break up?
Oh God! So there's officially no tag teams left in the WWE.
Hey! Have you been watching the tag division lately, Matt?
Like that's why I said they should have had the Street Profits against the New Day on Monday. Just merge the fucking title.
I thought that's what they were gonna do, especially once they broke up the New Day. Well, according to Vince, they didn't really break up the New Day. There's still the New Day over here, and there's still the New Day over there.
Fuck off.
The draft continues. AJ Styles goes to Raw. We knew that when Heyman came over to SmackDown.
Yep. He was counting down the weeks.
The Boss stays on SmackDown. Naomi moves over to Raw, and I heard a very interesting rumor that Naomi might be joining the Hurt Business, which makes sense with feuding with Retribution, and they got some women on that team. Well, I guess they kind of forgot that Retribution existed outside of them being drafted, but we'll get to that later. Going over to SmackDown, Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax stay on Raw. Good old tag match, Miz and Morrison against Riddle and Hardy. The good guys get the win there. And then after that, big surprise, the return of Lars Sullivan, who he beat everybody up. Sullivan's been out for about 16 months now. So good to see him back. The draft continued. Raw keeps Matt's so excited. Raw keeps so Ricochet, riveting. Jey Uso stays on SmackDown, riveting. Mandy Rose stays on Raw, riveting. Rey Mysterio and Dominic go to SmackDown.
Look, here's another thing that irks the fucking shit out of me. If they wanted to wipe the rosters out like this, the least they could have done is said, all right, Raw, since you just recently traded for Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, they're going to be exempt from the draft and they're already a part of your roster.
Instead, they make them draft picks.
They made them draft them again. And not only did they make them draft them again, they drafted them separately instead of drafting them as a team.
It was a stupid idea from bad creative.
Fucking company, man.
Gummy, yeah.
Yeah.
It hurts, man. Like the logic of this company just hurts.
SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley, Sasha. We all knew this wasn't going to end in anything other than a DQ.
I was surprised it went as long as it did, to be perfectly honest. I didn't even expect the match to get on their way.
I guess something I forgot to mention, because I mean we're just so enthralled and excited of all the great logic that's going on in WWE. I forgot to mention that Kofi and Xavier got granted tag team title matches against Shinsuke and Cesaro, and we all know what's happening there. New Day get the titles. Xavier
Yep.
Woods, I'll tell you
Look
something.
great.
He looked great for being out for a year. And anybody that's a fan of the party kind of popped when Woods and Cesaro were going at it in the ring.
I'm hoping they don't tape those Uno episodes ahead of time because I want to see I want to see Creed with the title.
Yeah,
on,
I know
on this week's episode of Uno.
because I know the PGA Tour 2K21, which I just got in the mail today. And I'll tell you what, real quick. I've played the previous golf club games in there. Okay. I've played a shit ton of Tiger Woods and then of course Rory, following that with EA Sports. This is definitely gameplay wise and shit. It's very solid. There's a little polish that needs to be done on some graphics and stuff, and maybe a little more meat on the bone. But of course, obviously, your first effort with 2K, you got to make sure that the basics are right. And the golf gameplay is tremendous. I played around here tonight before Impact. I was impressed. So,
Yeah, graphically, I wasn't impressed. Like I watched the potty play the game. Like I was not impressed graphics wise, but I thought the game actually looked fun, and clearly the four of them had fun playing it, which made me more interested.
Mhm.
So, like,
But
I
yeah.
would actually play that if I could get a hold of it for cheap. I
Yeah,
wouldn't buy
it went on sale on Amazon
buy
it went on sale on Amazon to 50, so I just said fuck it. I wanted to get it, so I got it.
That's why JB says.
My point was that they filmed that several weeks ago because they were filming it while PlayStation was doing their press conference to release the release date or whatever. I think
That's a good point.
that was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so
Now,
they probably put stuff in the can.
but Uno, I don't know.
Ooh, no!
They may do that once a week. I don't know, but you still got to do all that producing, which it doesn't take too much, but so you never know. But it's coming. There's going to be the episode where Creed's got the title, and he's going to rub it. You know, he's going to rub it into Claudio's face. You know, it's coming. It may not
I
be.
will enjoy it because it'll be funny. I'm Team Chugs though.
It may not be this week. It may not be this week, but it's coming.
Team Chugs.
Hey, Breeze, what color do you want?
Never tell you what color I want.
The party. If you're not watching the party play Uno every Wednesday on Up Up Down Down, you're fucking missing out.
You really are. Good shit. It never fails to put me in a good mood.
A new Up Up Down Down dropped today, where Big E takes on Kofi in Magic Darts on the NES, which is entertaining as fuck. So watch that. Us pimp it up, down, down. So, New Day is your new tag team champions. And immediately the draft continues. I didn't watch SmackDown Live, but if I did, I would have been suspect at the fact that Stephanie McMahon, they cut to her right away after they won. And there's good reason. As Kofi and Xavier Woods get drafted to Raw, they immediately know that they did not say Big E's name because the very next pick, he stays on SmackDown. So there is your bombshell of the draft. They split up the New Day. Now I'm seeing people saying, well, this is not as bad as it may seem. They're splitting him off.
Bad.
They're splitting him off because it's hard to take Big E seriously when he's with the New Day.
It's one of the dumbest excuses I've ever heard.
So they can't push Big E to the top when some reason Bill Murray's breaking this down right now, but yeah,
fucking dumbasses.
The only saving grace was if they were going to combine the tag titles and New Day beat Street Profits, which may still happen eventually.
Should happen now.
But we found out on
They
Raw.
should have done it. They should have done it on Monday.
Yeah. My guess is once we get crowds again, there's going to be a trade, or they're going to come, or that's when they combine the titles. Once the crowds return to the arenas, once WWE goes on tour again, I think that's when they put them back together, Matt. Obviously, now, I mean, it's not like they're separating and never going to see each other. We're all in the Thunderdome, so I think this is just a shock value thing to get people talking, and it's going to work itself out whenever we get crowds again. Just my guess, Matt.
Maybe.
Dana Brooks stays on Raw as we laugh. Otis stays on SmackDown. Notice they just said Otis. I rhymed right there too. Angel Garza stays on Raw. They show Otis and Tucker backstage wondering what it meant that they didn't mention Tucker. Tucker says they'll figure it out later. And then the whole trial thing, Miz filed a continuance to delay the trial. So don't know where that's going. Sasha Banks cutting a promo. You know how they love to use the word hell at this time of year, don't they, Matt?
Way too much.
I'll see you in hell. Then we got a good main event. Fiend making his first time a free television match with the Fiend, taking on Kevin Owens. I enjoyed the main event, Matt.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was. I mean, I guess I hope SmackDown felt like they got their use out of the Fiend since they drafted him in the first round of the last draft, and he made his one and only wrestling appearance on that SmackDown. Oh boy.
A good SmackDown though, which is par for the course. Raw, on the other hand, oh boy, it was okay, but the draft portion of it not exciting. Back to SmackDown, talking smack. They announced Otis going to Raw, so they broke up Heavy Machinery as well. Another a questionable breakup, I think, Matt.
Oh, so many questionable things.
We kicked off Raw with Orton cutting a promo, and then Drew McIntyre coming out, and they get in a little fight. I kind of like I kind of like just this random fights between these guys lately. It's been really entertaining. One of the few entertaining things Raw's had lately. The draft, Bray Wyatt goes to Raw. At least the first pick was somebody changing brands. God, first 3 picks on SmackDown were people staying. Bayley stays on SmackDown. Orton stays on Raw. The Street Profits move to SmackDown. Charlotte Flair moves to Raw. Was she on SmackDown, Matt? I can't remember. She was like on everything before she left.
You don't remember.
Because the brand split
I feel like she was on the same brand that Andrade was on, but now he's not on a brand at all. So
rumor is that the undrafted people are going to Raw. So that was what Andrade and the other Lucha House Party members, I think.
I don't remember where they're going. They went somewhere.
Yeah, Raw is where they're going. No DQ match between Aleister Black and Kevin Owens was really good, I thought. Thought it was a very entertaining match there. Next round of the draft, Braun Strowman comes over to Raw. We all expected that to happen. Daniel Bryan goes to SmackDown. I don't know where he was before because he's been gone a while.
He was on SmackDown.
Matt
He was
Riddle,
doing the thing with Styles.
Matt Riddle moves to Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens moves to SmackDown. And Jeff Hardy moves to Monday Night Raw. So a lot of moves in the second round. Miz TV with Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, and Natalya and Lana interrupted. And yeah, it was not that interesting. Miz and Morrison still on the Miz TV set, and Lars Sullivan came out and beat the shit out of him. Do you like Lars Sullivan?
No.
You don't?
Trash.
Then we got the backstage segment. Adam Pearce talking to the Street Profits of the New Day, and all they do is just trade titles.
So bad.
Oh my God. Rude and Ziggler say they want a title shot, so New Day agrees to put the Raw titles on the line. Next round of the draft, Raw selects Retribution. You want to comment on that, Matt?
If I comment on this, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Because I lost my mind on Monday when it happened. Let me just. I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can. There is no reason on a draft that when it ends, you will have quote unquote free agents that didn't get drafted. There is no reason for Fox, USA, or the WWE to wish to draft a group whose main objective is to destroy the company. Why would you do that? You're fucking stupid. In every move you make for this group, you continue to make the group and you look stupider and stupider and stupider, and no one gives a flying fuck about these people anymore. You put Mustafa Ali on a death sentence by putting him in charge of this group, and I feel like you did it on purpose. Like, I feel like they were just like, I feel like they had plans to put somebody bigger in charge of this group. And when they fucking stutter stepped and fucked everything up, they're like, well, we can't use blank here anymore. Let's just say Keith Lee. Well, we can't use Keith Lee here anymore because we want to protect Keith Lee. Who can we put in this spot to be the scapegoat and go down with the ship? Oh, let's throw the guy in that's been wrestling on main event for the last 4 to 5 months because we don't want to use him on Raw. You know, I just trash. All around fucking trash. And WWE should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
My two biggest guesses on that would have been Samoa Joe or Kevin Owens. And then they realized this ain't getting over. So they didn't want to put either one of those guys in that situation.
They could have done Miz too, because they teased Miz.
Yeah, with the
very early on when they were doing things on SmackDown. And then they quickly dropped that. But I mean, I feel like they had plans to put a bigger name in charge of the group. And when they fucked everything up and they realized they fucked everything up, they pivoted and went with something else.
Yep.
Because they're just flying by the seat of their pants the whole time with this bullshit anyway, because they can't fucking plan TV for more than a week at a time.
No. After that tremendous riveting Retribution pick, SmackDown selects Lars Sullivan. Raw keeps Keith Lee. King Corbin stays on SmackDown. Alexa Bliss moves over to Raw. No surprise there because obviously she's going to be with Bray Wyatt. So outside of, well, really, there was no surprises there outside of Lars Sullivan, which Brandy was going to go to after beating everybody up on both shows. Seth Rollins comes out to give his farewell address since he's no longer going to be the Monday Night Messiah. and he was interrupted by Jeff Hardy. And Jeff Hardy was telling him how he's not the leader that Raw needed or whatever. And then AJ Styles comes out, who's been feuding with Hardy. And, another drunk joke, said he was stumbling to the ring. And this led to a tremendous triple threat match with these guys. AJ Styles getting the win, thanks to a returning Elias clocking Jeff Hardy with a guitar. Good to see. Good to see Elias.
This is a storyline they chose to remember. Of course, this is a storyline they chose to remember.
With the car accident and stuff, yeah.
Yes.
They never did reveal who the driver was, though. We thought it probably was Sheamus.
Yeah, it was obviously Sheamus.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the story. That's right. I forgot about that because, yeah. Elias's interview afterwards of why he attacked Jeff Hardy with a guitar. Next round of the draft, Elias gets drafted by Raw since he just showed up. Hey, we better draft him. Sami Zayn stays on SmackDown. Lacey Evans moves over to Raw. Cesaro and Shinsuke stay on SmackDown. Sheamus moves over to Raw. Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke took on Lana and Natalya. Rose and Brooke get the win. Natalya, tired of Lana losing all the time, ditches her to the curb. Hey, at least Lana didn't go through a table this week. Yet. The Hurt Business talking to Ricochet backstage. Ricochet says, I got a deal for you. I'll take on any one of you four. And if I win, this is done. No more going after each other. But if I lose, I join the Hurt Business. I got a little excited there for a minute, Max. I thought Ricochet was going to join the Hurt Business.
Yeah, I look. While I loved the finish of the match, I would have preferred. I would have preferred Ricochet to join the Hurt Business, so they would actually do something with him.
That's true. Definitely resurrected Cedric and Shelton. Angel Garza took on Andrade. Angel, very quick win there. I was surprised that match only went 3 minutes. Vega went in to check on Andrade, which kind of tells you that they're going to reconcile and she'll be his manager once more. But then the lights went out and the Fiend shows up. But no, it wasn't the Fiend. It was Alexa Bliss doing Bray Wyatt's pose, which I fucking loved. I loved that.
Well, the Fiend was there too.
He was. Oh yeah, he was there. But they showed Alexa first.
Okay, fair enough.
Doing the pose, and then we get dueling Sister Abigails. I really love where this is going with the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. I think Bliss is doing a hell of a job here, Matt.
I agree. It's something different for her. It's a fresh coat of paint. It was honestly very much needed.
Next round, Nikki Cross comes over to Raw. Rude and Ziggler move over to SmackDown. R-Truth stays on Raw. Apollo Crews moves over to SmackDown. And Dabba-Kato, one of the Raw Underground stars, gets drafted to Monday Night Raw. New Day took on Ziggler and Rude. Good little tag team title match there. New Day retaining, no surprise there at all. Then we got the interview with Elias. We talked about that already, about why he attacked Jeff. Then we got Cedric and Ricochet. We just talked about that. The Eddie finish with the chair. Ricochet wins by disqualification and escapes. Then we get the final round of the draft. Titus O'Neil, he's still around. Outside of Raw Underground.
The fact that they draft. Look, I'm not this man's biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination. Anybody that listens to this show knows this. But the fact that Raw and the USA Network drafted Titus O'Neil over Andrade is some of the stupidest shit I have ever seen. Just want to point that out.
Carmella stays on SmackDown. Peyton Royce stays on Raw. Aleister Black moves to SmackDown, so I bet they continue.
Because we can't get enough of that KO Black feud.
That's been a good feud, though. That's one of the few things.
Yeah, but I feel like I felt like it ran its course with the match on Monday.
And R-Truth is happy because Akira Tozawa stays on Raw, so they can continue that feud.
The draft would be so much better if it was done in the format that we talked about.
Yeah.
With the Raw versus SmackDown matches and the random picks, because there would be less people moving. So there would be a lot less opportunity to carry feuds over that have already been done to death and we don't need to see anymore. You know what I mean? Like they could do maybe like 10 picks a night. Or, maybe less on SmackDown because it's 2 hours. You don't want to run 10 matches. But you could do like 10 matches on Raw. You could do like 10 picks over there. Maybe do like 5. Maybe do like 5 or 6 on SmackDown. So that way you're only moving like, maybe it's a group or maybe it's a tag team or whatever. But you're only moving at most 15 to 20 talents. So you can freshen everything up that way. When you're doing it this way, you're not freshening anything up. You're taking a stupid storyline like Mysterio and Ray and Rollins that everybody's fucking sick of, and they're just moving it to Friday nights. I don't want you polluting my Friday nights with that shit fucking storyline. It's done.
Oh, you want?
I don't want that on my Friday nights.
You want to hear even better news about that?
Oh God, I don't know how you can give me better news.
I think this came from Alvarez or Meltzer, but Vince is very high on Aaliyah, as in he wants to sign her to a full-time contract.
Have you even seen her in the ring?
I don't think
Has she even had any training?
I don't think it would be as a wrestler.
Oh, like a valet or something.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I don't care about that.
Well, I mean, the story ain't gonna go away anytime soon. I'm just telling you.
I just like the whole idea of the draft is to freshen things up.
Yeah.
But when you're taking people and you're moving them, and then you move their feud partner over with them, you're not freshening anything up. You're not.
They did
nothing is fresh.
They did way too much of that in the draft.
Yeah, just trash, man. It's trash.
The main event was the 14 women battle royal to determine Asuka's number 1 contender for Hell in a Cell. No Eva Marie, even though she was heavily rumored to be coming back to the WWE.
Could be SmackDown.
Yep, no Eva Marie in this battle royal. Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, Tamina, Billie Kay, Lana, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Natalya, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, and Peyton Royce. Some of the interesting parts of the match. Baszler eliminates her tag partner, Nia Jax. Which leads to Lana going through the announce table for like a 4th straight week. Boy. I completely forgot about Lana after Natalya won.
I don't want to say I forgot about her, but I kind of dismissed her until Natty pushed when Natty pushed Lacey off the apron and she landed and the bell didn't ring. I'm like, they didn't fucking eliminate Lana.
Yep.
And yeah, and then they went and did it.
So after weeks of
can't wait to see that 30-second match on Monday.
Yeah. I saw some people on the internet going, "Oh yeah, see, they're not burying Lana. Oh wait till the match. She's been buried for a month ever since Miro debuted. Oh well, she's number 1 contender. She's not buried anymore. Yeah, wait till that match. If that thing goes more than a minute, she's buried still."
Oh,
I could not. That is apparently a WWE fanboy take right there. Oh, she's not getting buried.
Oh, there was somebody on Busted Open today that was trying to defend Retribution being drafted to Raw, and I was just like, I'm just like, take your WWE apologist bullshit and just get the fuck off the show.
And then Randy Orton and McIntyre fought some more, which was fun. I like that. We got to see all the officials: Pat Buck, Adam Pearce, Devon Dudley, Jamie Noble. Try to separate it. I have really enjoyed McIntyre and Orton. So, and
I was hoping one of them got moved. Like I was hoping they would send Orton to SmackDown because I feel like this feud needs to end at Hell in a Cell. And Drew's saying this thing every time I see you on Raw, I'm going to beat your ass. And now they're both going to still be on Raw after Hell in a Cell. So, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I fully expect a title change at Hell in a Cell. So
I don't.
It may not be over, Matt.
No, there's no way Drew loses to Hell in a Cell.
That's what you think.
No, they didn't have Drew get pinned for the first time in almost a year to lose at the pay-per-view. It was to set up this match. He's not losing.
Raw Talk had additional picks. Lana moves to Monday Night Raw, which makes sense now because she's taking on Asuka. Natalya moves to stays on SmackDown. Riddick Moss stays on Raw. I will just call him a Raw wrestler since he was on Raw Underground. Riot Squad move over to SmackDown. Arturo Ruas stays on Monday Night Raw. I mean, they're clearly going to return to Raw Underground once they get the COVID under control.
Yep. For sure.
Erica, the Viking Raiders, signed as a free agent to Raw. Tamina signed
over Andrade.
These are free agent moves. This wasn't draft picks.
Yes, but they were free agent signings. So you're trying to tell me that Raw, after Raw was over, the people from Raw decided to sign one half of a tag team over Andrade.
Yeah, sad. Tamina signs with SmackDown. Billie Kay signs with SmackDown, so she will be separated from Peyton Royce. So no Iconic reunion for now. And Zelina Vega to SmackDown, which is interesting because Mike Johnson says that Andrade is going to Raw. So apparently that attack by The Fiend, it may have been the nail in the coffin. Mickey James and Andrade were the two people unsigned. Rumor is that they were going to...
But at least Mickey's out with a broken nose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you can explain why she wasn't drafted. You can't explain why freaking Andrade didn't get drafted, but Titus O'Neil did.
I'm not arguing with you. Clearly, after it was all said and done with the draft, SmackDown got the better deal, I think.
If it wasn't for the Mysterio Rollins storyline moving over there, I would love the SmackDown roster right now.
Yeah.
But seriously, out of a 2-hour show, I don't want to see that shit taking up a quarter of that 2 hours. Like, it was easier to digest when it was part of a 3-hour show. Like, and look, maybe if they handle it in smaller doses on SmackDown, maybe it'll be more tolerable. But man, I don't want to fucking see it.
Yeah. Head into some headlines. If you're a fan of Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett, his movie I Am Vengeance: Retaliation is going to hit Netflix. It hit Netflix today, Tuesday, October 13th. So you can check out Wade Barrett in that movie there. It has been announced by Mike Johnson at PW Insider that Ronda Rousey, her contract is still good with the WWE. It does not end for another 6 months. So,
and you also need to wonder if the wording in her contract prevented WWE from freezing it. Because in my opinion, if they can freeze people out for injury or people who are taking time off and anything, why the fuck wouldn't WWE freeze Ronda Rousey's contract?
Yeah.
Because that's what I would do. Like, you're gonna come back eventually. All right, well, I'm gonna freeze your contract here, and it will run your time when you come back. Like, I'm not letting Ronda Rousey off the hook. Off of this big ass contract. You want to come back to wrestling, you come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm just wondering if she somehow had wording in her contract that that prevented WWE from freezing it. Like, I don't fucking know.
Possible. This weekend's Ring of Honor television will feature the semifinals of the Pure Championship, Jay Lethal and David Finlay. Who's on the other side of the bracket? Do you know, Matt?
This was from the weekend. It was Lethal and Finlay, and it was Gresham and fuck. I just watched this last night. I can't believe I don't remember. I can't remember. It was Gresham and somebody else. Gresham and Lethal advanced. Oh, it was Gresham and Seidel.
Oh.
And they did a storyline where Matt Taven returned. So
yeah, I saw that.
I'm sure our buddy Daryl's happy.
I
miss you, buddy.
I feel
if
like
you're listening, I hope you're doing well.
Definitely. I feel like Gresham's going to win that tournament.
I think it's going to be Lethal and Gresham in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Even though Netflix axed his show after 1 year, I read an interesting article on their decisions on canceling shows. It's stupid for it. It's stupid if you're a fan, the way they cancel shows on Netflix. But anyways, Big Show still has a partnership with Netflix, though, as it is announced that a Christmas themed episode of the Big Show is going to be released on 12/9.
Yeah, because it was already filmed.
Yep. So
yeah, it did good numbers for them. I don't understand why they canceled it. Like, I really don't. I don't get it.
There was an article.
I thought for sure that was a no-brainer that it was going to get picked up for another season.
I read an article on Deadline just of the stupid. If it has a big fan base, but that fan base just plateaus, that they just cancel it, unless you're Stranger Things. Which
That's so weird.
Which they're like licensing the fuck out of it. That's why you don't see shows on there last that long, because unless it gets a huge wave of new subscribers, they just axe it. It's stupid how they do that, and eventually it's gonna bite them in the ass. Because they used to go.
I would agree with that.
They used to go so long. There's always the joke that Netflix doesn't cancel anything. Well, now they're canceling everything.
Yeah, I think it's a bad move.
Renee Young is returning to WWE programming.
Well, not really.
Well, she's going to be on Fox. She will be hosting the best moments of 2020, as well as
which already aired, I think.
Yeah, that was on this past Sunday, and then she'll be on the SmackDown kickoff show at 6:30 on Fox, because it's the season premiere.
Which was nowhere. That wasn't on. There wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on Fox Sports 1. Like, I don't even know where this thing was supposedly airing at. I looked for it. It wasn't there.
Well, this says Fox, according to Dave Scheer. So,
well, Dave Scheer might have seen something like, I looked for it on Friday night, and it wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on Fox Sports 1.
This Friday.
It wasn't anywhere.
This Friday.
I thought it was for the draft.
No, it's for the season premiere of SmackDown.
Yeah, well, I will look again this Friday and see if anything airs or not.
No. It was for this Friday, not last.
All right, I thought it was for last Friday.
WWE welcomed a new class of NXT trainees. Brandy Lauren, you might recognize her from Evolve and Shine. Several Evolve superstars, including Leon Ruff. The majority are Evolve stars, and then Brandy Lauren. And then a amateur wrestling standout by the name of Jacob Casper, who wrestled for Duke University, 2-time NCAA All-American. He also placed in the Olympic trials. And then Jake Clemens is a referee. He's officiated matches on Raw. Also was a part of Evolve. So it's like bringing in a referee in there as well. Finn Balor, unfortunately, suffered a broken jaw in 2 places after what probably will be going down as the match of the year in NXT with Kyle O'Reilly. Still, I've not heard a time frame. Have you?
No, I've not.
We do know that Ridge Holland is probably going to be out for at least 6 to 8 months. Unfortunate turn of events there. Ratings this week, the vice presidential debates kind of cut into both shows, with NXT losing about 100,000 viewers, 639,000. AEW winning the night with 753,000. They lost about 110,000 viewers. In the 18 to 49s, though, AEW still nearly doubles NXT, 0.31 to 0.16. So you can still print those demo god shirts. Night 1 of the draft on SmackDown saw a slight increase for SmackDown as they went up to 2.08 million. They only gained about 40,000 viewers though, so it wasn't like the draft really brought them in. And Monday Night Raw, the draft did bring some people in because they did get about 150,000 more viewers, going up to 1.85 million as opposed to 1.68 in the previous week. As Matt just said, Mickie James is injured, suffered a broken nose. She can't catch a break lately, can she?
Yeah, buddy.
In WWE, no surprise, they filed trademarks for CWC, Capital Wrestling Center, NXT, CWC, all that fun stuff there surrounding their current home. Alberto Del Rio, probably going to be locked up for a long time, indicted by a grand jury for aggravating kidnapping and sexual assault in Texas. Crazy situation, but we all know that Del Rio's pretty unhinged, so I think he's going to go away for a long time.
Works for me.
AEW champion Jon Moxley's new movie, Caged Fighter Worlds Collide, is now available on VOD via Vudu or Fandango now. So go check out that if you'd like. And mysteriously, Mercedes Martinez has been removed from the Raw roster and no longer with Retribution.
She got so lucky.
And she's going back to NXT. It was weird because she was kind of like she was in the middle of an angle on NXT too. Obviously, Vince makes those calls and doesn't know shit about what's going on at NXT. So, but yeah, she was in an angle with Rhea Ripley and on part of the Robert Stone brand. And I'm sure they'll just go back to having her rejoin Aaliyah and Robert Stone.
Makes the most sense to me.
More WWE trademarks filed. Looks like NXT UK stuff. Ashton Smith, Dave Mastiff, Eddie Dennis, Danny Luna, Candy Flores, and WWE Watch Along. That's because they do that for stuff now. We all talked about Hiroshi Tanahashi showing up on AEW television this week. The Dark Order teased that they are going to be working the New Japan World Tag League. And then Orange Cassidy asked when the best of the Super Juniors is taking place. This ain't a coincidence, is it?
I don't think so. I really don't.
And Dustin Rhodes announced on his Twitter that his very first action figure is coming. Wonder if the Young Bucks have been able to find any at Walmart yet. Moving along, AEW Dark this week obviously has already been out since we recorded, and since it's already been out since you're going to be listening to the show. But if you've yet to watch it, you can look forward to Eddie Kingston in action. Evil Uno takes on Frankie Kazarian, The Blade, and Jungle Boy. So one of those actually not a jobber match on Dark. So might be a fatal four-way worth checking out. Dark Orders 3, 4, and 10 take on some jobbers. Darby Allin in action. Colt Cabana against Griff Garrison. Brandon Cutler versus Peter Avalon. Are we gonna get a finish here, Matt?
Oh, that's on tonight's show.
Yep.
Oh, I will definitely. I don't know if we're gonna get a finish, but I'm definitely gonna find out.
Matt Sydal against Sonny Kiss. That might be a good match. Penta and Ray take on Lee Johnson and Cesar Bonani, who was used to be in NXT. Red Velvet in action against Elena Black. Wardlow in action. Ricky Starks takes on the aforementioned Fuego del Sol that we were talking about. Joey Janela in action. Nyla Rose and the Gun Club. It's going to take on Ryzen and Max Stardom.
Lots of matches.
14 of them. Of course, you know Ryzen from the Broken videos. Oh Lord, you know you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, right, Matt?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
Yes.
WWE Shop is going to have their own version of Elf on a Shelf called Fiend on the Scene.
Fucking dumb.
Shit, you're not. Liv Morgan posts a picture on Twitter of her and Ruby touching Sarah Logan's belly, her pregnant belly. I'm only laughing because it didn't happen. Monday afternoon, Paul Jordan of PW Insider announced that Ali is going to be talking on Monday Night Raw. I laugh because that didn't even happen.
Yeah.
I love Hot Ones on the Hot Ones, the YouTube show where you get celebrities get interviewed while they eat progressively getting hotter wings.
Yeah.
And Ronda Rousey's on the latest one. And we saw WWE jerk itself off over this, but they have hit 50 billion views on YouTube. Of course, WWE had to jerk itself off on that. Renewal and release of the third season of Dark Side of the Ring on Vice TV is yet to be announced, but they are already shooting, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Eric Bischoff revealed on his podcast that he's already did interviews on Brian Pillman. So Brian Pillman will be a topic. And the first two seasons currently on Hulu if you want to catch those. All right, let's give Matt his team's props here as Triple H has given the Los Angeles Lakers their own custom championship belt, Matt.
Damn right. Wasn't Lakers in 5, but it was Lakers in 6.
Yep.
Lakers got pissed off because they lost in the Kobe jerseys, and they just went out and bitch slapped the Heat in Game 6. Bitch slapped them. Bitch slap. That's what happened, JB.
Yeah.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating. Hey, the Heat took out your Celtics. You should feel like you're justified to see them lose. I'm just saying.
Mike Johnson of PW Insider has unveiled that the contract with the Thunderdome will be extended at least 4 more weeks. It was set to expire on Halloween, so now it's going to run through the end of November. Ooh. That snuck
the
up
right
on
call. Honestly, they should just extend it to the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Nobody should be traveling right now if they don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah, NBA is probably going to at least start out in the bubble. So that means the Amway Center is going to be free. So
we don't even know when the next NBA season is going to start.
Yeah,
it ain't starting anytime soon.
Yeah, word is first January, maybe February.
Are they gonna have like a shortened season? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, 'cause I would imagine they want to get back on their regular schedule.
Yeah, Adam
So I
Silver
would
said,
imagine they're gonna have to have like a shortened season, maybe like 50 games or something.
yeah, it has to be. And Adam Silver said it ain't gonna be until the start of the year, so at least. As we mentioned, Eva Marie is returning to the WWE. She was in Orlando, Florida this week, undergoing medical testing needed to enter the Thunderdome. And PW Insiders told that Marie and the company came to terms for a return for a return on the week of September 20th. But no other information as to what's going to go on there. And of course, she did not appear on Raw. Many people thought she was going to be in the Battle Royal because that was announced ahead of time that was going to be on Raw. So Matt said maybe SmackDown. We'll find out Friday on the season premiere of SmackDown.
Oh, damn, pal.
There's going to be a new Steve Austin book released next year. Steve Austin 316, 316 facts and stories about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Be out. And guess what day it's coming out?
March 16th.
Oh, hell yeah!
That was so obvious.
Yeah. And as we move along and we move along and we move along, Matt mentioned this earlier, but former Ring of Honor World Champion Matt Taven was revealed as the personality behind the cryptic Follow the Trent videos that were on Ring of Honor. So he has returned from injury. What did he go down with? I forget.
I can't remember.
Finn Balor posted a video or photo on Twitter recovering from a successful surgery. And I think at least a couple of weeks he's on a liquid diet. So that can't be fun. Gerald Briscoe finally got around to making his big announcement. It's he's joining the podcast world, and he's going to be joining the whatever realm of Conrad Thompson's podcasts with JR and Arn are in there. I can't. Bischoff's in that thing. So it's going to be Monday Mailbag with Gerald Briscoe.
Can't wait not to listen to that.
WWE files a trademark for a long canceled series, Livewire. Remember that show?
Oh, I remember it.
They threw a trademark out for it. During the Battle Royale, Natty revealed that she lost a tooth. And like right here too, like a very front and center tooth that she lost there too. Nature of the beast, you know.
She'll get it fixed.
The promotion is not officially announced it yet, but Eva Lise has announced that she is signed with AEW.
Yeah, I'm sure AEW probably would have preferred to announce that themselves, but
yeah. Mia Yim filed a trademark on her name earlier this week.
why the hell not?
Beat WWE to it, right?
I mean, she should have had it years ago.
Oh, that whole Twitch thing. Jesus. Bad enough you can't get your name. Sometimes they trademark your name, and then you got now you can't go on Twitch. Can't do cameos. The trial date for Alberto Del Rio is now set for January 25th. Again, he's probably going away for a long, long time. All right. Ali talked. Was it? Ali talks about not appearing on Raw, and he basically played it out as I'm making you wait, right? Matt's on the edge of his chair for that.
Not at all.
So, oh, okay. The big announcement. I get it now. The Dave Marquez, the on Instagram posted that there was a big announcement 8 years in the making. Makes sense now, Matt. They are going to have they're going to have an 8-man tournament to crown the first ever United Wrestling Network World Champion. So they've never had a world champion in the promotion. So that is the big announcement.
Oh, yay.
So James Storm got added to the Fred Ross or Chris Masters match.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. Next week, Ziggy Dice takes on the Pope. Max Caster against some people we don't know. Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis return, and they announced on October 27th in 2 weeks, Thunder Rosa against Serena Deeb. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. Thank you to Spider.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Wednesday. And to be notified, just go ahead and click on that bell icon on YouTube as well. And the links on the YouTube or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. On the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Stop insulting our intelligence, WWE. We're fucking sick of it.
We've been asking that for about 270 episodes right now, Matt. You think they're ever going to listen?
Maybe when Vince croaks.
That's the catalyst of it all. Regardless of a stupid draft, that at least the better show got the better deal into the deal on. We had a good SmackDown. Raw was so-so. Impact was good. And AEW always good. And NXT got better. So it's been a pretty good week of wrestling. Lot to look forward to next week with our predictions for Bound for Glory, which is shaping up to be a good pay-per-view. And Hell in a Cell, which we don't know if that's going to be a good pay-per-view or not. We'll see.
Probably not.
To be determined. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll catch you next week.